Well, best laid plans and all that. Oh, goodness gracious me. I did intend to go live at 8:30, but, well, I thought I'd just nip out and get a glass of water because I forgot last night. And I bought a bottle of wine earlier to go in my evening meal. I had a glass out of it, and there's a great big peppercorn dispenser on the sideboard. Clocked that with my something as I walked past, took the old bottle out onto the flagstone floor. So I just spent the last 30 minutes cleaning up glass and wine. There we go. Never mind. Let's do some actual coding, hopefully. I had hoped to do a lot more, but that hadn't happened. For some reason, the camera keeps moving around. There we go. Let's center it again. So, welcome. I see there's a couple of people already on the stream waiting. So, I had hoped to do a lot more before but of course that didn't happen. What I have done though is I have put up the into the TV Blue directory, and I pushed it to GitLab. I've created under the source ASM an MCAT directory. I've put the expansion bus text file in there for the moment. I'll probably move it. MCAT.asm, MCAT main.asm, and the specsys.asm. I haven't put the .command in because it's not really, I wouldn't want people running it in a status in, but at least the assembly language source is there, and it's you can be studied and is already available. What I'll do then is I'll add into that directory at some point the pluggable device system when I've tidied it up, but for the moment, and I will, as each time we do a version of this, I will commit it up, so that everyone can see where we got to. I'll try and commit it at the end of the evening, wherever it happens to be. So, like I said, the first 20 minutes or so are probably going to be boring now because the plan was to take the dev pack stuff, which was in this one, the extended cat program on page 23. And I was going to try and cut and paste that into whatever we need for it. And it's obviously give me some cross mapping because they've used with the underscores and slightly longer named addresses, but we should be able to cross those with specsys.asm. So so this is where it comes in from basic. So it seems to be doing something with channels here. So the first thing to do is to try and understand how the extended cat works. I thought it just read in. Yes, it does. There we are. It does something to do with the. Yeah, okay, let's just read it through very carefully, I think. So try and understand what it does. Not a lot of comments as per back in the day. So they're creating some, that's just setting the variables pointer up. This getting the length of signon from end to on. Well, that must be something further down here. Yeah, HiSoft extended cat listing. Guide return copyright HiSoft 1984. I wonder if they'll allow us to use it. I'm sure they won't mind. I spent enough money on all their code anyway. I think I've just owned just about every version of HiSoft development system that is. Right. I hope this is streaming. We'll see. Seems to be. I can see it on my other device, so that looks good. All right then. Right, let's get out of there. So that basically that's putting on the description about what's happening. This is doing something when you're coming in from gens itself, and this is coming in if it's coming in from basic, because if you jump to it, it just jumps into the basic bit. So I was just writing out a string. So creates a new microdrive channel. So it must, I see what it's doing. It's creating a channel, and it must be set in probably to read the catalog into the channel. So that actually gets as a piece of text rather than it going to the screen. And it then looks at the load B, 11 call write string. So what's space? Just a space, is it? I wonder if we stick all of that into a file for the moment, see what it ends up like in an assembly file, shall we? Copy. There. Okay. That's pretty gruesome, isn't it? Actually, the code bits are quite nicely separated out in chunks. So this is doing it by column. So no, that's messy, isn't it? Can I do it like that, maybe? Yeah, I can do each section by the looks of it. So I'll be able to copy it over a little bit at a time. Let's delete all that rubbish, because that's going to be useless to us. Actually, this endings it out. Just get on it. Let's try just copying over one little bit of it. See what it ends up like. Not much better. No, yuck. Looks like we're just copy typing, doesn't it? So I really need to understand what it's doing and what we really actually need from it, because I don't think it's going to be very easy to copy anything in. Save it to next. .jam. I keep doing that. Okay. Right, where are we then? I did say it was going to be fairly boring the first 20 minutes, so hopefully it's still of interest to people live streaming this sort of thing. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of errors when doing this. I might try and copy in just a little bit of it. I wonder if I can just do that column. How bad it'll be. Ah, no, don't want that. Yeah, it's fairly gruesome, isn't it? But it is at least. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's possible then. Sometimes it's just hard graft. I probably could have written a bit of script to clean this up, but for the amount of code it's going to be, and I'll probably only ever do it once. So there we are. It's going to be painful doing it that way, but we can do it. So I might put the whole bit of code in because it might be nice to have that as a base for someone who wants to use it. In fact, we could probably, if we're careful, we might well be able to that was on. Let's put highlighting on so we will tell it, it will force it to be, it hasn't detected it, but we will tell it Z80. Which will make it easier to set 1 of 1. Don't know where that came from, but num set. That's junk. Don't know where that's from. Not a junk. Duplicate for some reason. It's missed some of the stuff here, hasn't it? PopHL num set is actually num set is on the and, so it's going to be there. And we haven't got, I see it's put the stuff for after the and after it this time. Don't take that third column, that makes too much effort for us, I think. So let's try again. Call right string love be okay, that sort of worked, didn't it? I really should have done this before we started the stream, shouldn't I? I think you get the idea. What I might do is save a copy of this, just get a bit we need from it. And load HL with sign on. So that one, height shell, pointer, comma. So it's just the LD. I can put that in by hand, it's not too much. I can do that, that's easy. And I can do that one. Oop. And use the semicolon in place there. Oop. Why is that gone like that then? It's funny, okay. So initialize, extra space, that, and it's the load HL drive bit fails. So let's try stitching that back in again and see if we can get a more valuable by not doing all 3 columns. I think the problem is trying to do all 3 columns. Nope, still doesn't work. Something's causing the cut and paste. Yeah, it's not gonna, we got off a bit easier further down. Okay, just to let's do the complicated bit that I can easily make a mistake on, and then I will put in the right. Sorry, Tony. Yeah, is the volume not up? Let's see if I can increase the volume a bit. Hopefully that should be a little bit louder. And what I can also do is the snowball, I can move it a little bit closer perhaps. So hopefully, and I don't think I can increase the volume much in here, but that's going right up into the red now. So hopefully that's a little bit louder. The whole purpose is me is to talk out loud. So thanks, Tony. I will endeavour to make that a little bit louder. So hopefully that's working for you. We should be able to do it as long as I can get the keyboard. Yes, I can. So you might get a couple more clumps and thumps though as I knock the table. Just make sure it is actually the blue snowballer selected. Yeah, it is. All right, but that is the maximum of that will go, it looks like. But it is a bit closer to my face now. I may have been mumbling a little bit as well, because it is a bit of a sign of madness talking to yourself apparently, but I appreciate now that there's someone actually listening. I will do my best to make it better. I think I need to move the snowball back a little bit because it's in the way of my keyboard, but okay, well, yeah, maybe it might have been because I'd moved the snowball back because I was working from home. So, you know, maybe I pushed it out the way and it wasn't as close to what I was doing. So, there we go. Happy to help. That's the advantage of being on a live stream. So, like I said, I probably would have previously, and I have done in the past, written just scripts to convert from one form of thing to another. So if anyone spots any errors, you type reading this from the left to the right for me. Mammoth is an LD. I ought to do the tab first, don't I? And this one's an EX, I expect, is it? You can almost tell what it is. Oh, an ad. Ooh, don't make assumptions. Load. I've got to get into the doing a tab first. So load HL, and that's going to be a tab inc HL. And we got an all with the contents of HL. So basically that's for gens is taking the value of HL off the stack, putting it into D and E, pushing the HL back onto the stack, taking the address of num1 off, whatever that is, adding it to HLDE, loading with the contents of that address, incrementing it, and then ORing it with the next one. So it's taking 2 bytes and looking at them, isn't it? And then JRNZ, is it? Yeah, JRNZ num set, load A, 1, and this is our num set. Set and percentage, so that's the default, but that's actually and A, but it's obviously a short form of it. And then loading the top byte of the HL register with a 0. And loading L with the contents of the accumulator, and then loading drive, HL, which has missed the L, so we've got to be a bit careful. All right, but not too, but didn't take too long to get that amount of data in. Checking if word number is 0. Yeah, okay. Yeah, something within gens then, I assume. Ped, don't know what. Just use a rubber duck. Yeah, I need some. Actually, what I've got here is, for those who watch my my channel, is the head that's at the opening sign. So I'll stick him in front of the. I'll stick him and I'll talk to my wizard. All right. There we go. I'm talking to the wizard, telling him how the programming works. So he's got a hat a bit like I have. If you've seen my adventuring video. Right. So base end, done that. Where do we get to the bottom of that page? I don't think it'll take too long doing it like this. Yeah, no, it's done the same thing again, so I'll just take the one column and we just type in the commands, I think. Pop HL. It's good. I mean, as I'm going along, I'm trying to see what it's actually doing. So we worked out earlier this is creating a channel, and I don't know what 11.2 is. So we'll have to 11 minus 2. Oh, okay, 9. Yeah, it's an absolute value. All with A. Okay. Which is just clearing the carry flag. For those who don't know, it's a quick way to clear the carry flag, which because we're then doing a subtract with carry, but they don't want to include the carry. which just basically adds the BC onto the which just takes the BC off of the HL register, and then it's going to load streams plus 28, which is the offset. I'll tidy this one up when I'm at it, just so the code looks nice afterwards for anyone. And I like I said, we'll get this done. Maybe I'll assemble it and check it works as is. Probably the fastest way. Again, this thing about creating modules, you know, work in theory. We all remember typing in stuff from magazines years ago. I'm wondering, actually, I've got the microdrive copy of Gen somewhere. I wonder if they give the source code on the microdrive. Where are all my microdrive cartridges? Yeah, but it's going to be one I haven't refelted yet, and that does take a little bit of time. So, if anyone's interested, there's a video on my channel about a refelt a cartridge. So, if this fails and doesn't assemble, I will get a cartridge tomorrow and find my copy of Gen's, because the source might be on it. Because I must have run it in the past because I remembered it. So I must remember. Yeah, I must have remembered it. Take that entirety because it's the actual codes, and oh, that's good. It's actually done it that time. It seems to be complete luck whether we get the entire bit of code. And of course that is for those, again, calling the new ROM. The RST8 is the call to the ROM, and the defined byte is the function. The byte that follows after the RST is what you want the shadow ROM to do. So in this case, is create the new variables if they don't exist. Someone pointed that out, that the variables are created every time. So actually, we don't really need the init -i as long as we do the new vars check before we do anything with it. So that's quite interesting, especially because we don't want to store any state. It's actually irrelevant that we create and destroy them, which will help us when we're in XZ-Exos. So because we can just create a shadow state. And it didn't work this time. Some of the things like that. Obviously, I'm just doing Control X to copy, Control V to paste, and then just putting the tabs in by hand. So, honestly, I haven't seen a pattern yet, but I was doing this because otherwise I could have created some macros quickly. But it seems every time I take a piece of it, it just doesn't do the same thing. So, this is EIO, load HL cat. Where was the EI? Yeah, RST8. RST8. What did I cut off there? Say load address HL, comma. So there's a missing LD somewhere. Load HL, comma, cat. So that should be there. Okay. I was interested, Tony said he wants the mind of a program. Well, the mind of a programmer is find someone who's already written it and is working. Stand on others' shoulders, not their toes, I think is the motto. Because it's a lot of work coding code. So if you've already got good working code, it's handy to already use it. Okay, so keep saving. I learned my lesson years ago about not saving regularly when I typed in, I think if anyone's watched the Dragon show on Coco Live, I typed in an entire transcode from Z80 to 6809 one day. I was bored of writing it out on a bit of paper. Typed it all in at the save button and the Dragon crashed. So I never really got around to finishing the Dragon version of the Adventure Interpreter. I think that might be too much. Let's do it in little chunks so we can cope with, so it doesn't get too bad. Because that actually gives us the sections that we're going to be doing. Yeah, sorry it's boring, guys. Right, it's 9 o'clock, so I did say I'd tell anyone who's joining at 9 what was happening. The extra LD is at the top, thanks mate. Yeah, found that one. Nope, accidentally deleted the WR. And we got the push BC. Now they need to go there, so not Catlu is there on the push BC. And not pre is right on the bottom of that section, so it's going to be later on. And the cat one is on the load B, 15. Okay, so this is the bit from the comment that actually goes through what it's copied into the stream, which is the actual catalog, and this is the bit we just have to use this instead of our catalog code as is, I think. Oh look, we actually got a comment. That's quite unusual on the end of the data. And why isn't there a lot of comments? Because line 64. Oh, thank you. Well done, mate. Yeah, missing that one. New vars. LDA, 14. Yeah, so I can just get rid of that now, can't I? Thanks. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so why are there no comments? Well, because this is the microdrive version of DevPack. You got most carts got 85k, 90k, officially 100k, but maximum of 85k. The reality is you didn't have a lot of space to waste on long labels and comments, so code didn't have a lot. Poor is quite unusual in that respect, I think, because a lot of code I've seen from back in the day doesn't have as many comments as code has, as poor has. But you know, we were quite lucky because we had a Z80 cross assembler at the time, so that was right, and that's gone completely paired, is it? No, I don't think it has. Looks like it's a good one. It's a good cap. So basically, you just wouldn't have had the space, but we were lucky. Like I say, we had a Z80 coprocessor, twin disk drives, floppies for the BBC, and the gens assembler on CPM. So we were just able to basically keep going. You can see how automatic I'm starting to tell stories now. And that meant we had space under our disk drive version. It was disk to disk assembler as well, so it didn't have to all be in memory. You could, stream it off of the disk a line at a time, do 2 passes, and then go back. So again, you could have lots of comments in the code because they added to the assembly time. I think when I first recovered the Quill source code for, Paw source code for doing this work, I set it up on my BBC and just thought, I'll just carry on with my BBC for development. And I thought, right, I'll just change the version number and recompile and prove it produces the same binary as it did in 35 years ago. The problem with that is that I'd forgot. I sat there waiting for it to happen, and it was just clunking along, and the drives were stanking, and I was thinking, ooh. Then it printed something because I got list on, list off, and I realised how long ago it used to take, and it was about 20 minutes to build Paw on a twin drive BBC. And Paw's not that big a bit of code really. It's relatively large, but not that enormous. So unfortunately, my BBC's dead in the water at the moment. It's one of those projects I've got to get around to repairing, so they'll probably make a channel video of it at some point. There you go. So we'll load NSTR1. We're getting there. It's actually not doing too bad, is it? Just got to be really careful I don't miss anything. Why is that taken more? Did I not copy that? I couldn't hit the copy. Sorry, guys. And that takes us down to not pry with the push IX. So we're doing all right there. I think we're getting there slowly. Right, I hope you lot are reading it all, because and checking how it all works, because I'll be testing you later. And I doubled the EI up. So RST8, let's quick save. Push IX was not pry. Okay. Okay, my video's taking a bit of space there, isn't it? Let me reduce the size of my gob a little bit. There you go. Just not to block quite such a view of the code. There's me trying to click into the live stream to start editing again. Oh, nice. Yeah, definitely you're going to get a nice smell throughout the house when you turn that beeb on if you haven't replaced the reefer caps. I literally, when I took mine off before I turned it on, they were literally in, you know, little cracks all over them, and they were coming apart my hands as I pulled them out the board. And for those who don't know, the BBC's famous for having a pair of mains reefer caps on the front, right in front of the supply, so they're 240 volt, and there you go, boom, with smoke. There's a video on YouTube somewhere where they have a strip out repairing like 20 or 30 machines with reefer caps in, and then they string all the reefer caps out and turn them all on at the same time and let them blow in one crate. Really good fun. So stinks your house out. Don't do it at home, do it in a garage or outdoors. But definitely anyone who's got a BBC and thinking of getting one, make sure you service the power supply before you even tempted to plug it in, because it's going to go pop and be really bad. It's definitely not liking those extra commands down there, is it? So, see what we get out of here. Yeah, we're back to the push IX at not pry, and then pop DE load. Okay, it's probably more effort than it's worth to do that, isn't it? I think we'll do this is another one where it's probably quicker. I'll do it in smaller lumps, but I wonder what 82 means. Why are they adding 82 to D at this point? Don't know. Interesting. I'd love to know what the code does. EX, exchange DE and HL. It's a useful little flip over, which allows you to then load the contents of the A register from where DE is pointing, and then we can increment DE. And we're going to LD, HL, comma type tab, and we're going to load the C register from the A register, load the B register with a 0, and then that's going to be an add or a subtract, is it? Add HL to BC, and then load A with the contents of where HL's pointing, and then we're going to call console out, and then we're going to call space, which is going to just print a space, I suppose. And then we go into exchange DE and HL, and then we're going to load A from C again, or A, another one of those clearing things. In this case, so it's clearing ready before it does a jump. So JR, jump relative, if not 0 to not prog, wherever not prog. We got a not pro. Okay, we'll bear that in mind. We got a not prog, yeah? Not pry, catlu. Yeah, that could be. If we get it doesn't happen, then we'll see what's happened to it. So print a space. Looks like it's going to do it, and then it's going to take the contents. So we're down to jump relative, if not 0 to not prog. Right, plenty of ink HLs. Stepping over some stuff. 4 of them is there, yep. Do you know the bit that I'm really I'm thinking now is I'm absolutely gutted because that bottle of wine only had 1 glass out of it, and I was going to have a glass when I finished this. can't win, can I? I've got to be up relatively early in the morning. I'm taking my grandson swimming, so IncDL load call D outs. There's a load D, HL there. Why have we got another IncHL there? I don't know where that came from. That isn't right. IncHL load D. Yeah, it is actually. IncHL OD, IncHL call D. Yeah, it is. IncHL call D outs load. Yeah, okay, it is right. I was looking at the later one because it's repeated, isn't it? Load DE. Load E common address HL. Yeah, IncHL again. I mean, lots of move in. I mean, the only one. A lot of assembler is just quite painful for moving stuff around in memory. It's not really the, which is why things like the DMA really helps on the next to get jobs done. You can move stuff around in the background. I mean, it's all right when you're just moving a couple of strings around and you're adjusting things as you're moving it, because this is obviously making space and moving over stuff. Well, I'm not really looked at the detail of it, but right, okay. So let's get rid of the bits we didn't need. I think the pop was at the top. Yeah. Okay. So just double check that from not pry looks okay. Push IX, pop DE, load HL common 82. Yeah, looks very similar. Not prog, we're down to the DE outs and it's the JR cat back. Okay. I might just try a little short section here and see if we can, because the cut and paste was quicker, wasn't it? Yeah, it's taking all the way up to there. You definitely don't like it, does it? I'll take it again because it might just. So that's the JR and that's the compare. And I think we've got the early stuff and then we've just got a copy of the extra bits. So I think we're alright actually. Yeah, I think so. That should be doable because we've got JR catback, jump relative to the catback, which we didn't get the bits. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. But not a block copy like in gedit. You can do a block copy like that, but I can't. I don't know. Can I? What are you thinking? I should be able to cut that block there and move it into the. I don't know. I've never tried that. Well, if you want a Ped to finish it off, that's great, yeah. We'll go on and do something else. Where did I find the PDF from? Yeah, I hadn't realised it was going to take quite this long, to be honest. I just started. I really don't know. Is there a block copy on gedit? I really don't know. Here we go. Gedit plugin multi-edit. Okay, so it seems there is a to answer where we got the gedit, where we got that HiSoft manual from. It was the actual title of the machine. The program was. That's where I got it from, spectrum.org. So that's the URL, worldofspectrum.org, pub Sinclair Games Info H iSoft Dev Pack V3, by the looks of it. So that's the URL. Yeah, looking at that, I can install a block copy, but I've never done it, Ped, because I've never needed to. But it's a learning experience for me. But it's a bit of old data. Yeah, thanks, Henk. Well, there we are. I'll leave it for an exercise for the reader to finish typing that program in then. It was so close to it. So, look, we only got to go there. So, we're right at cat end nearly, aren't we? So, are we? No, we're not. Not prior. Yeah, we are. Cat back. I'm fairly certain we're pretty close to the end, guys. So, but yeah, you're right. I think if I'd been coding this by myself now, I'd have probably given up and gone and worked out to do it with a program and a bit of script. So, I've done it nearly now. I'm going to finish. So if someone can finish before me, then we can prove there's a... Yep, thank you, Ped. We'll talk about something else. We'll get to where we were, shall we? Well, we're seeing whether that happens. So I'm quite impressed. So it does seem to be a bit of a problem on some of these PDFs where the column management is quite poor. So, but I think if you just cut that couple of columns out, you should be able to do it with a block, as you say. Cancun. Peter, you're in Cancun. Wow, that's lucky. I bet it's nice and warm there. So, I did warn everyone it would be boring because this would have been typed in by earlier before I started the stream for those who've joined halfway through. But this was trying to get the actual catalogue, extended catalogue software doing. I did have a Google around to see whether I could find a copy of it as an ASM file, and I couldn't. So I didn't try very hard. But like I said, for those as well, don't forget that the actual the GitHub contains the MCAT and MCAT main ASM files if you want to have a look at them on the GitLab. So I think if we go, so if we go to Git, have we got the ZX next? Okay. What is it? TV Blue, I think, isn't it? Yeah. So just check they're there. You should find them in the source directory under ASM. There was my commit. You could just see it there. So you saw my commit. So good. And MCAT. There you go. So they are in there now, and you can look at them. All right. That's good. I saw past TV 1.6 plus dev pack 3.cm. Yeah. This was the best I found for getting the code out of. So Ped's going to sort it. He's absolutely had enough of watching people typing in stuff. So we've paused it for a moment. So maybe we'll try and work out what the drive's actually doing at this point. So where it is actually looking at the code, maybe we can work out what it's doing. So we've got to this not priority bit. We typed in this little bit of whether it was going to not prog, and it's going down, and it's getting pretty close, I think, to where so the cat back there. From a stylistic point of view, I would normally put a thing there to space it out. So. Because that's comparing with 3. I'll type what we're talking about, but comparing with 3 and JRNZ, because this seems to have copied in the some of the other stuff. So that was basically, that was that column that ended up coming up that was damaged. So I can just do this again then. So it's a race now, I suppose, is it? Oh, Henk's found it in text. Should have looked harder, shouldn't I? Thank you. And you reckon that's all? Is that in this directory? No, can't do that, can I? Have to find it again. Jens is called, isn't it? InfoSeek. Can we find it through InfoSeek? Pascal 4, Highsoft Assembler. They got a different one for microdrive. Maybe a split up here. Releases, yeah, there we go. Files. Original. Bugger, not what we wanted. Right. Okay. So maybe if I copy that, there might be a dump somewhere else then. If I can I copy that out of there? Archive took a dump of quite a while ago, didn't it? No, it's their pack 3 for the Amiga. Where do they go? Yeah, I'm going to keep finding Amiga stuff, and we because they had V3 for quite a bit. I even got a link to the text file directly on. Other way, breaking single line right after each other, not doing those colors. Great. So does that mean you can copy it easily then, does it? Oh dear. So it's a problem I get all the time, but it's not just this setup. It's when I'm doing it in work as well. I get it, and that's Windows 11. So have we got the code, or shall I just finish typing it in? Sometimes it's just grunt. I mean, that's the problem. It's boring working, which is why I really wanted to do it before, and I'm so sorry I spilled my wine. So okay. Well, we'll go. So we got a few people trying, so that's good. I'm glad it wasn't just something dead simple to do, because I'd have been a bit annoyed. So in my previous existence, I've often spent hours looking for a solution that's clever, when actually just doing the grunt work for a couple of minutes gets it done. ST8, FB clear. HL, which is the least number of key presses, copy it or do it. So there we go. And the DJNZ is the cat loop. I think this cat loop is going to be incorrect again. Yep, Henk's nearly there. I'm hoping fairly soon. I was hoping that was it popping into a message somewhere. Cat loop, jump to cat L1. There we go. Having an army of people helping does. I suppose we should have actually done. We should have sourced this out. Anyone watching, just typed in a handful of it and sent it to me. Could stitch it together. Didn't think of asking for help. Oh, bonkers, it doesn't even take the other column now. Thanks, Henk. Appreciate that. Are you going to do it onto the YouTube site, you? Onto the YouTube, onto what's it called? Facebook thingy. Yeah, keeping an eye open. Hopefully something will turn up. Even I'm bored of doing this now. I suppose anyone who's thinking of doing programming is a bit of fun. There is quite a lot of messing around like this, unfortunately. Let's pop HL actually. There you go. Right. I'm on my way to page 26. Oops. Yeah, it's still quite a bit to type in, so I wouldn't. There's another page full. It's going to be painful. Other messages happening. Oh, actually, while we're sort of let's leave them do a bit. While we were doing that, one thing that did occur to me that maybe while I was looking at the code that might not be such a good idea, and it was when I watched the playback again. Why haven't I got the .jam? MCAT, no, that's that way, so I need to go to the .jam directory. Oh, come on. Right, what I looked at was, I was looking at the extend MCAT main program again. We do go full screen for that. I remember saying that jump to ROM SM is a good thing as we return. But I'm wondering whether we do a jump to it. So, but I'm wondering whether that's actually, does ROM SM do a return at the end of it? I can't remember in the Spectrum ROM disassembly. So I thought I just want to have a quick look in the Spectrum ROM disassembly what that does. So ROM SM we need to find. whatever it's called. Where's find gone? Why do they keep moving stuff? Is it SM? Set M? Oh, I'll have to do it by address, won't I? Spexis.asm. ROM SM. Again, set minimum 16B0. So in 16B0, call set min. So it's called set min then. Set min subroutine. There is a subroutine and it does do a return. So it does everything it needs to do. Clear the workspace, clear the calculator stack, mem address. So this is cleaning up. Yeah, it's just cleaning all the various workspace areas that we might have been using, and then there's a ret at the end of it. So hopefully you can see that. It's basically just make the editing line area only a carriage return, cleans up the workspace so there's nothing in there. Stack, but clears the stack. Okay, stack end. Oh yeah, it doesn't do the stack end like we think it's going to do, does it? But actually, that's going to damage it, isn't it? That's going to damage our ability to return. Has it taken HL off? Has it taken our return address off the stack first? Because we might not be returning because we haven't actually. If it's clearing it up, it's expecting. Where's it expecting to return to? Pop HL to pushes it. Stack bot, stack end. Yeah, what value is in HL that is stored then? It's the stack bot value into stack end, and it's going to return. It's going to push that value onto the stack and then take it back off again. Where's it going to return to? What's still on the stack? Don't know. That's an interesting problem because we don't actually know where we've come from in this code. We've gone in as randomizers. The return address on the stack has to be to go back to basic. So I wonder if, just out of interest, rather than doing that, I just do a ret there. Just out of interest, and we do a Control F7 and rebuild it. I remember spotting this yesterday and thinking, maybe I've done something silly. Because you've got to use ROM SM, you've got to do something as a setup. Don't know. So if I go back to, we can do a, well, we decided we probably don't need to do the initialization, but I'll follow the same sequence. Just so that we've, yeah, maybe, yeah, it's only the last page, literally, Ped. It's, we are, if I show you where we are in the, there, we're down to DE outs, so it's only anything from DE outs. Yeah, I think if you can just get me something clean from DE outs on with the columns done, it'd take me a few seconds to just clean it up with a few tabs and deletes. So it's just that last page, really. As if you give me the last page, I'm 99% certain the rest of it's pretty good, and we might be able to get to a point where we can start testing it. So, yeah, I mean, I find I'm pretty good at allowing other people to finish off if they want to. So we're looking at that other problem, but I realise while you're doing that, you're not getting the full value of the stream then, because you're not seeing what my thinking's doing. So, yeah. The book itself, I got. Have I got rid of the house off you? Oh no, it's there. It is. So it's literally that bit there from D outs on page 27. It's just this sort of loop, the stream output, right in a string, and a couple of bits on the end of it. And these literally, which are all a bit fiddly. So you can get those to me. So where were we? In MCAT main. I thought maybe doing that. So I've done it. I've on the next itself. Ooh. Where did you post it? I haven't seen it anywhere. Henk, I'm not sure. I mean, you can either post it. I mean, if I'm on Twitter, you can just tag it to me on Twitter if you want, or Facebook Messenger it if you want to, or if you're on Facebook, stick it in the. I'm not sure where you picked it up from. I'm not sure where else we could do it. Really, there's no easy way of doing it. If you just put the link or the document into the Facebook group on the Spectrum Next group, if you are. Oh, thank you, Ped. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, nothing come through yet. Oh, seen something in. Nope. Nope, sorry, nothing yet, guys. I shall keep checking. Yeah, you can't put a link in a YouTube video. I've had this loads of times where I've been shouting at people on the YouTube practically going, I know where the data is you're looking for. And you paste the link and it deletes your... Anything that's got a link in it always does it, yeah. Facebook's the best one if you just stick it in the underneath the post I've given, which is, if I got it, yes, there we go. Thank you, Hank. Oh, look at that. Brilliant. He's done it. And we got a Paras D outs. That's brilliant. Thank you, sir. And I shall paste that in the bottom of this extended catalogue. It's close enough. Yeah, spaces, but it don't matter. Clean them up another day. 10 Lou. Yeah, it looks like you've said that they've... The actual D loop, they seem to have cut off the names of the... I spotted that further up. That every one of them are shortened. So I think actually the easiest way will be just to shorten all the destinations. Oh, sorry, Hank. Yeah, well, that's why I went on and did something else because I knew you were all working on it. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, no, it's a real frustration for me with YouTube where you know what's happening. So, but there we are. I'll take your entire text as well and assemble it, and I'll assemble mine. When we see which is doing it, so I'll save that. That's great. Oh, it's really brilliant. Thank you, guys. That's a real help. Not sure what that is. There seems to be a bit of extra. Let's go back down so we can see both. Yeah, don't know what that meant. It's a comment, I think, to say what it is. Start end. Okay. I got a feeling that this assembler unfortunately does need these quotes in. Bits. Yeah. So, yeah, sorry. Thank you, Ped. Parallel processing produced the voting processes. We got an output from one of them, so that's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. It's nuts, isn't it? It's absolutely mad. That's great, Henk. So we got a couple of different options then. Thank you, Henk. I really appreciate that. That's that's a really useful bit of open. I won't add those into the distribution though, because obviously they are in their entirety. I think derivative code we might be all right with. That's the only, this is a difficulty with all this sort of code, whether it can really live in. It was published in public for a purpose to use with the gens assembler, but it's still technically someone else's code. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. Actually, I think we should be all right. I don't think anyone's going to object. So, I got to go and add those in anyway. So we'll fix the. Right. Save that. Just out of interest, will that assemble? It doesn't matter. It'll take over a copy of the curl. So. Yeah, I thought the symbols are going to be the problem, aren't they? Yeah, some of these cats and things like that. That's fine because you actually, Henk's copy had, if we go back to the image of it, I thought I had it in there, didn't I? Henk's copy had the definitions at the top, just paste in. So yeah, that's gen specific stuff, that. What have I done as errors? Oh, yeah, I know. Is this me using Z80ASM? Can you do that? I can't remember. It's going to do something different. Yeah, DFM. Yeah, I'm going to have to do the... There's an equi. Does that get rid of it? Yeah, no, it's a syntax error. These symbol allocations are always slightly different because it's this silly format in. Now that definitely is worth converting. Right, okay. That's a good one. Henk's commented that he's put the extended catalogue game from your catalogue from your Sinclair typing, but uses ASZ Z80, so it'd need a bit of work as well. So, and Ped's comment about the PDF viewer copy of the text is insane. So many different ways to break out similar blocks. Yeah. Right. This is going to be the pain for this one. Now my names aren't quite the same. Yeah, exactly. There's some errors in it, I think, which is why it's losing it's been cut off to a single character. Yeah, and here we are. Well, we're doing a service to the Specky community, all of us, getting this even working. So, but what I've got to do I'm going to have to convert that now back to this DFC defining symbols format. So if I do a search and replace with equals, well, Ped's things, lovely piece of listing, keeping the reader sharp. But, you know, the part of the learning to program, everyone says this, typing the basic listings in and working out what's wrong with it is actually how you learned a lot of coding, wasn't it? So, okay, so I can only DFC in there you go. So this is the most completely bonkers assembler format. I got a Perl script somewhere that converts one format to another. But I did look for it earlier, but I couldn't find it. So I did a massive load of all my assembly language into it. Yes, another good point from Henk. That you can build the entire Shadow ROM code with it already as an assembler and just hit and make. So that if we actually want to take the catalog code out of the Shadow ROM or rebuild the Shadow ROM, that'll be the way to do it, is to take the existing code that's known to work and we can just extract a bit out and have that completely separate rather than calling the ROM. So right, let's see how much I've broken. Just some syntax errors left now. Still line 11, I've got a syntax error. DFCR equal, oh yeah, that's why. Shouldn't have put the colons in. That was me trying to make it do what it was supposed to do. Think, what have we got there? That's the problem with format of hex numbers, probably. Probably that. Yep. Okay. Line 66, syntax error. Load IY with hash as hex numbers again. Okay. 268. Okay, great. So is there a copy, I mean, if anyone knows, is there a copy of the entire Shadow ROM typed in anywhere? Because that would be a nice little exercise to do, is to get that to build and prove its... 268 LST hash 10. So that's hexadecimal, isn't it? There you go. Syntax error 273. Load a quote. The funny one with this one is if you just want a single character, it has to be a single quote on that assembler. And 288. SIGINT equals, yeah, okay, so it's, I think that is trying to be where you currently are in the, so that has to be converted to the bit where it does, it says where we currently are. Have I got an example of that in there? Yeah, it's this one, ASM PC, defp equals ASM PC, so that dollar is ASM PC is a well-known label. There we go. You've got a good collection of stuff there, Henk, if you've got the 48K ROM as well for ASZ80. So ASM PC's done, 288, 298 syntax error, 298 cat, DFW, it's just a hex code. Because that's what 1C is, that's a semicolon star, that's 1C is semicolon, 58 is the star. Done that. Def2, define space 512 bytes. Symbol num1 off, pointer sig end. So I don't know why we're still getting all of those. 292 still getting a syntax error. Oh, another hex I missed. Okay, in fact there's a couple of hex numbers still missing, look. Now is that 11 decimal? We'd have to look at the original code. Yep, it is. So it's a mix of hex and decimal. I wonder if that's on purpose or they just missed the hash out. Who knows? Yeah, Henk points out the example program's got the shadow ASM with all the addresses in the ROM with symbols. Of course, my problem is my symbol table and all my references and all my code refer to the very short forms I used years ago, and every bit of code I got uses those names because, of course, they had to fit in the 6 characters of gens on the microdrive when I was developing on microdrive, because when I first started developing for the Spectrum, it was obviously on tape with tape gens. I did have an assembler, I think, for the Z80. I mean, I used to poke X codes in directly on the ZX81, but I think I did have an assembler on tape. But for the... I then used microdrives extensively with gens, which is why I got a lot of code on gens format. As we did it, but of course you were limited to 6 characters in gens, which is why I'm quite surprised they got the extra long labels. So WR string not print. I think these are all just because they've got on line 50. I think that's just because they're all cut off. So I think we just go with the short, slightly short line 50. Num1 off, not defined. There is no line. Oh. Duh. Look at the right source file with the error debug. Line 50, num1 off. I reckon there's a num1 off, maybe. Let's prove that. Nope. Doesn't exist in a code. No, definitely doesn't exist anywhere. Num1 off. That's the only place it occurs. But it's to do with gens 3, so we'll just do, because we're not using gens 3. So we just get rid of the problem in that particular instance. Pointer not defined. Load pointer, comma, HL. See if there's a point anywhere defined. This has turned into a bit more than I expected. Pointer. No judgeable pointer, point. There we go, yes, it's just cut off. Good, so we can just get rid of the... Okay, ER not defined. I might disable those curls a minute because it's starting to annoy me. What am I doing now? I'm external DOTJAM. Yeah, no, I need to modify the tool, not run it. Preferences. Plugins. No. Oh, why is it doing that? Manage external tools. There. Thank you. Right. Just temporarily disable these copies so that we can yeah, Henk's pointing out that Editas, which was the name of the assembler from Highsoft, had a great single step in editor assembler. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, the tools do make debugging a lot easier. Yeah, so ER not defined on line 65. ER.HL. Is that a typing error on my part? Probably. Bass ent ER pointer. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Make space not defined. Sig ent not defined. 68. Sig ent. Sig end minus sig on. Well, I think that'll be sig n. Oop. Undo. Sig n. Copy that. So sig n is, I think, going to be, yeah, that's that one, which is where we are now. So that should now go away. WR string not defined. WR string. So is that WR defined? Yeah, it's called in several places. Now in this case, it's going to be quicker to correct the name of the name of this than try and edit all the pointer values. Signen not find on 68. Well, we knew that one. So make space. Now these are going to be the names of the variables. So signen is a good one to find. DFM signen. That's DFC, that's why. Okay. Yeah, I do have it in source. This is just me converting it to run with the bonkers assembler I use. So that's all. Yeah, don't panic. This is not. This is literally not far off now. All I'm doing is cleaning up the conversion from the gens format to Z80ASM. So there's a couple of things like this. This should be DFC, for example, which will get rid of that problem. And then we've got a couple of that cat loop will be on 198. That's going to be just the cutoff bits cat loop, and I think that'll just be cat loop. So yeah, sorry Ped, we have got it. It's just fixing a couple of making up the bits because Henk gave me exactly the code as was in the book, which obviously won't compile. So, and that's cat loo exists. So there we are. We've got a bit of cat litter in our machine. And I think this one here, we can just pick out the ones that we can do. So not print cat back and cat loop. Not print cat back. Yeah. I think cat not print is probably not print. No, only exists once. Not pre. Okay, I can just see it down by there. Not pre. Okay, nearly there. Cat back. Okay, so there's a cat back, but it's not defined anywhere. Yeah, Ped said he rewound the stream and been watching not live. I've done that no end of times with live shows as well. You think you're right at the leading edge. So, okay. Oh, it's so close. I really want to see this work. Cat back. Where we're looking for the original code that we had. It was in one of those things. Oh no, I don't want to search. I wanted to search in this. I mean, finding page. Yep, no, there is definitely no cat back. Ooh, what's that? There's a cat back with an RST8 there near cat end. So somewhere near cat end, we've missed something. Not pro. Cat loop, not pro. There's a cat back. Oh, we must have missed doing the cat back. It's this one just before cat loop. Cat loop there. Cat back is on this one. So cat back. So we've only got now not P, whatever that is. Not P. Was it going to be that one? Not priority. Not pro. Not P. Let's have a look at the source we were provided then. Or EXDEHL space. This is a not prog. Whatever prog is. But I suspect not prog is going to just be not pro. So there we are. It is now, it's literally make space, CH14 out, CH14 info, new vars, type tab and close M. So we need the equivalent in SpecSys for those ones. Anyone got those quick? Because they are not defined for some reason. Why are they not defined? Are they not at the top? Open M, close new var. No, they're not in that file, are they? So it doesn't give make space. Nope. I'm starting to lose confidence this will actually assemble and run because there's so many errors in the listing. It's amazing. So type tab, close M, C14 info, CH14 out. Let's try having a little tackle those CH14s because they're bound to be in the code somewhere. So CH14, oh right, they're more stringy bits. So out is just another cut off one. And CH14 info. 14 out, CH14 out, CH14 out, CH14 out. So where's the CH14 info on line 85? C14 info. So copy, where's C14 info? That's all right, Jim. You haven't missed much. It's been mostly typing in code for an hour and a half, and everyone finding different ways of doing it. So we're just on the cusp of getting the extended catalog code from the microdrive, Jen's microdrive, through great help from Henk and from Ped trying to convert it, because we dismally failed to cut and paste out of PDFs that didn't work, and Henk managed to get us the actual source code in Jen's format as well, after everyone got bored of watching me for 30 minutes converting it by hand. And we just finishing doing it. So it's been great and really entertaining, and everyone understands why being a programmer is a boring day job sometimes, because, you know, let's face it, is and that's why we really need to know the tools to change things quickly. But what I'll do, I will do my level best to find that script for converting stuff to Z80ASM, because it is quite a handy script. So, and I'll make that available to people if they want to use the Z80ASM assembler, because it knows how to speak gens and converts it to Z80ASM. So, I just couldn't find it, because if I had, I could have done it in a few seconds from Henk's code, but we're already a long way down converting this one into the format. So we're down to these last couple of errors, really, which I'm really struggling with. I'm really, really struggling with these last few errors. CH14 out, we C14 info. C14 info only occurs once and there's nothing similar to it, so 14i. Ooh, C14 inf. C14 inf is just the O missing off the end, yet another cut down. There we go. Right, so now we're down to three things: make space, new vars, type tab, and close M. Yeah, that's true. You don't get a lot out of utilities and stuff like that until it finally... But you do get a great sense of, yes, when the utility finally works at the end. It is a great deal of satisfaction in that when you finally see it doing. And the hardware spins. And I love working with hardware, because you're making the real world, you're manipulating the real world with the code. And that's incredibly rewarding. You know, I'm going to... just to have a rest mentally a minute. If I have I got it? Yeah, don't know. We got a bit of 8-bit retro maybe. It's yeah. I'm going to diverge out off the stream a little minute, and if I got a ZX81 somewhere, if I got here we go. This is probably for those who haven't seen it before. This is my ZX81 setup for my A-level technology project. So it's a Maplin's keyboard. And a battery and some interfacing with an I/O card, and a Meccano chart recorder, and this is a live mains feed with no top on the box. So, but seeing that chart recorder draw a sine wave that was generated by the Z80 code was a real, yeah, exactly, Jim. Just like seeing the next come to fruition, it was all that theoretical stuff at the end of it, but then you see, you know, the little bit of code that you've done that really does start to take on your old thing. And I worked hard to recover some of the old programs, and that procmem was there. Have I got an adbus one? Adbus 1.p. These are actual programs. I don't think I got the original basic, but I managed to recover some of the programs, and it's just, I'm determined to get that working again, and I wouldn't mind. Yeah, PP9 battery. Well spotted, Jim. Oh, God. Yeah. So, yeah, that was to power the electronics, because the mains was just for the motor. I was literally running a mains motor with a relay. It was, I mean, you can imagine school kids turning up with that now these days. Health and safety, you'd have an absolute heart attack. So I'll be lucky if I don't kill myself in the next when I try hook it up. But I'm going to hook my chart recorder up to the next at some time and control it with my ZX81 programs. That's a project I definitely want to do. You know, so there we go. Right. Well, chart recorder? No, probably. Or PP9, no, yeah. Well, neither chart recorders or PP9. So, yeah, and that photo as well was of my tape recorder I had to buy. I just cost me a fortune. I haven't got it. Have I? No, I've got rid of the tape thing now. It was in the ZX81, wasn't it? Where was that? I'm getting distracted, didn't I? This is the other thing you do a lot of when you're doing programming, is you get bored and you think, oh, I'll go and do something else for 30 seconds, and the next thing you look around is 5 hours later. But, oh, it's a ZX Next. No, don't matter. Right, stop getting distracted. Right, we're nearly there. So we need to work out what these particular make space is definitely make room. I'm wondering whether it's make room. Because, of course, really, until Ian Logan's book came out, no one really knew the names of the one space, or is it one space? So is it make space or don't know. I really don't know. This is going to be a complete guess. We'll have to look at the code and determine context. New vars is probably is going to be a routine. I got a vase. No. So no. Type tab. Close file. Close M. Is there? I thought. Yeah. Oh, they've all been cut off again. Well spotted, Henk, yet again. So they've basically cut them off. So we should be able to close. So close M. Well spotted, mate. Multiple eyes do make this a lot easier. So def C close M. New vars equals 31. Type tab. I don't know where that one is. New vars shadow. Make space. Yeah, I'm thinking it's one of the closed ones. Type TA. Def MPNSB. Type tab. Okay. Type TA. Type TA. Type T. Well spotted again, Henk. Go. We're getting there. Oh, just make space left. Make S. Yeah. Good call. Let's find it. Thanks, Jim. Yes. You're like, yeah, 1655, which if we look at 1655, once it make room. So I was right with my guess. It is the make room program, and they just call it make space. So I'm going to actually shorten 75 in this case. Ta-da, it built 937 bytes. Right, anyway, I think we'll leave it there and then we'll try running the code tomorrow. How about that? Oh, well done, Henk. So, I bet your code runs and mine doesn't. But it doesn't matter. It's not a competition. It's just, this is supposed to be a bit of fun, isn't it? And I'm having fun. So hopefully you lot are as well. But and if you're watching on playback, at least you had the fast forward button. So, I reckon that code is done. I think. Yes, it's about time, innit, Jim? I don't know whether it's actually going to do anything though. And it's org 60,000. So let's send it over to the specky and assemble it. Oh dear. Would I do that to you? No, we're going to send it over to the spec. I'm going to reinstate my copy commands, and we will reinstate the transmission to the... Not yet. Ooh. So he hasn't got it working quite yet. So, cool. Honesty. So we're going to take... I won't put it into the bin directory. Shall I? Yeah, go on. It doesn't really matter, does it? It's mine. I won't put on the distribution in the bin and the doc directories, guys. So this is just my development version. And we called it xcat. xcat.bin to xcat.bin. There we go. I'll leave all the curls in because they're all part of the build. So basically, and then I adjust those down to what the final version is. So, so when I do a Control F7 now, it should copy it over as well, and we've got it in here. So, am I actually in ESX-DOS? You need to be able to see the screen of the machine. So, .ls. Yep, I am. So if I .cd into the bin directory, I do a clear 59999, and we do a load star quotes. No, yeah, the star quotes ext cat dot bin. Sorry, I have to move the microphone a bit. It's in the way of the next keyboard. So hopefully the volume's still good enough. ext can code 60,000. Okay, now all we got to do is do the mcat3 command to move back to being a microdrive context, and then I will actually preserve the upper part of memory, so I should be able to do a randomize user 60,000. Invalid file name. But didn't crash. Well, at least we got an error message. Can anyone guess? Yeah, I put it in the bin folder just for the moment, but that's not on the distribution, Jim. This is not synced. This is just my local one. I'll put it somewhere proper. The bin is the ESX-DOS .commands area, isn't it? It's just I dumped it in there because they're going to be the command when they all come together. So they're actually the two bin files that are part of the .command. So it's sort of logical they sit in there, because you're not allowed to into the .jam load those. You're not allowed to load. You're not allowed to load extra files. They got to be bundled into the dot command. So I'm sort of officially, yeah. It's a good start. So I'm just working towards getting this all assembled and working, because we've got the 3 different bits of it, and then hopefully Saturday I can put the time into to debug the stack work with a proper debugger, and that will allow us then to have a finished catalog command, like I said, on Saturday, is with extended catalog. Assuming we can find out what's wrong with this thing. No, this doesn't send a command to the basic interpreter. This extended catalog that's running. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. On the other one that crashes it. Yeah, good call. Let's read the HiSoft document. Thank you. RTFM, I've just been informed by Henk. RTFM, he maybe spotted something in there. To use the program, type it in. Poke the microdrive number you wish to catalog into location 60345. Why couldn't they have assembled a default one into it then? Well, it doesn't matter. Let's give it a go. Poke. You can still see the screen, hopefully. So poke. I can't remember the number, what it was. 60345. And I'm going to do 3 in this case, because that's the real microdrive, and we can hear the motor spin if it works. Nope. We better check what 60345 is in hex and make sure that that address is actually where it ends up in. Because our assembly language might not be exactly right, so it's not at 60345 anymore. So if we look at the file that's been produced, what do we call it? External cat.list. Not quick to do 60345 mode 3. Oh, clear. Yeah, that's what I'm checking. Yeah, good. Great minds think alike. 60345 mode 3 EBBB9. Org 60,000. Yeah, it didn't do it for some reason. Why did it not do the org? Oh. It's giving relative offsets. Never noticed that before. Well, that's easy because EBB9 it should be SP345, so three, 4, 5 in hex is just 159. So no, hang on a minute, don't be silly. Hex 159, yeah, that's right. So 158, 159. There we go. Look, yeah, no, it is the right. Yeah, it is the right address. So yeah, good call as well. Maybe they got the wrong microdrive ROM addresses. Yeah, good call. Well, let's check that for these ones then, for which version of the microdrive ROM I got against the one we know runs. But that is definitely the drive number, and by default it's a word which defaults to drive 1. Okay. For those who aren't familiar with assembler, this is the listing file that I always output, because that means you can see the hex codes produced against the assembly language instruction. Hopefully everyone knows that, but if someone's watching this stream at high speed and didn't spot that. Okay. Invalid file name. That's an unusual error message, isn't it? What's that normally produced on? Is there anything there? Let me just having a quick look. In the old microdrive manual. Probably not going to be very helpful, but invalid drive number. Microdrive number has been specified outside the range 1 to 8. So it says it's out of range. So DFW1 Let's have a look at the listing in the program as well, and just make sure it does have the same position. Yeah, DFW10100. So where does it take the drive from then? If we let's find the drive, where's it referenced? Now this is, oh, that's the gens entry point where it actually sets the drive. We're not using that. HL, drive, DSTR1, so it copies it into the variable. Yeah, there's no reason that shouldn't work. Yeah, EBB9, but his address 158. Okay. 158, yeah, that's right, which is where the 1 is. Oh, that's good, Henk. Sounds like Henk's getting closer to actually getting a working bit of code. The obvious logic now is just to do a quick check to make sure I haven't made any stupid errors against Henk's code. As a double check. So I'll just quickly read through both bits of code. If anyone wants to join in, I'll do it bigger so you can see both. I'm just going to go through and make sure there's no obvious cock-ups in it. I'll do it silently in my mind, but this is the only thing, this num1 off thing, but that was in the gens entry point, so don't care. Initialize was the bit that jumps to in base with basic entry. Yeah, no, that's right, Jim. Yeah, well done. So yeah, hey, this is cardboard cutout syndrome time. It's assume I've made every error under the planet and check the lot. 5C3A come with IY. DOTJAM with signer. Oops, don't click into it because you lose the other listing. So signen minus signon, so it's the end is just calculating the length of the string, which I didn't even see. So we're not even printing the string. Which, that's not a good sign, is it? Because it should have at least printed something on the screen. So let's do our test then, just rebuild it a minute. We're just gonna put up a green screen that we've got into the system. Yeah, you are, Jim, but that's in the gens entry point. So this is because gens supplies a drive number, so it masks it off and overwrites it. Yeah, but we never execute that line because when we come in from basic, it just jumps past the gens entry point. So gens knows to enter it at 3 addresses. It would be right if it was, but because you're coming in from the assembler, it comes in at this later point. So you've got one that works assembling with SJASM. Yeah, I am. So let's do the green entry point just quickly, because if it's get that call right string, and if we get to the right string program, there, load A with HL, con out, DJNZ right string. So I can't possibly fail. He says. But we don't see the. Let's make sure we are getting into the code at the correct place. Go into bass entry, and I'll just change the color of the screen just before because it doesn't rely on anything in A. So just a quick one, right? Just because it only takes a moment, and then I can just I'll go back to the micro drive. Yeah, I could do, Jim, but I think we've got a bigger problem than that because, as Henk said, his at least prints something out, and that print string doesn't happen. So I'm just wondering whether we got a more underlying problem. So I'm just going to reload the code. Yeah, I couldn't see it call. It's got a couple of calls, but they're all into the main ROM. So yeah, I didn't look in detail, Henk, but you're right. I didn't see anything that isn't hook codes, and that would probably even work on the Biz device, the one that's compatible, because that uses hook codes for compatibility. .bin code. Getting tired now, am I? Right, 60,000. Right, .mcat. And then we do a randomize. What was it? Poke 63 something? I can't remember the number now again. It's in the instructions, wasn't it? Poke 60345. Comma 3. And then I do a randomize user 60,000. So it did go green and then gave me invalid file name. And that didn't help me, did it? Because everyone let me stupidly put the same colour output at the next step. So yeah, bin is obviously what the default output type of Z80ASM as a binary file, because we're just running the actual core code rather than the entire dot at the moment. So I put it in. Yeah, I need to use a different colour there. Let's just make it blue when we get here. I can't see how it would fail to get to this point and write string. No, I don't think so. Yeah, changes the address. Thank you, Jim. It's moved it by 1, 2, 3, 6 bytes up. Yep, thank you. Now, let me put 3 in the drive as the default drive, and then I don't need to poke it. Let's just do what I originally thought to do. Yeah, ext cat.asm. Oh, that just had an error then. And then randomize, user 60,000. And it does it blue and it does the invalid file name, but we never see the string printed. Okay, so there's obviously an error there somewhere with it printing the string. Write string, call con out, push AF, load A, 2, call channel open, pop AF, RST10 hex ret. What? I can't fail to print characters on the screen, surely. How can that fail to print characters? RST10 is the most basic printer character, and it's opening channel 2 every time. That hurts my eyes, by the way, for optimization for anybody who is doing this, because the right way to do that is to take that bit of code and put it by there, and then that falls through to the con out. I'm sorry I'm making that change. That just hurts my sense of saving amount of bytes. If you're ever going to use a routine, let it fall through to something. Right. At least somebody's learnt something, maybe. And it also say it makes it a bit faster because you haven't got the jump relative, which is quite a slow instruction, really. It's always faster to fall through when you're optimizing code. Yeah. Is it? Nah, because that's the error message when we go back. Good. Good call. Yeah, but it's not. That's the error message coming out in channel, whatever it is, channel 1 is the error stream, is it, at the bottom? It's a while since I've done stream work with BASIC. I don't know why. It's maybe something to do with the reason the text isn't printing is this calculation of signon, the length signon. What's signen minus signon? How does it? What's the value it calculates for it? Is it anything reasonable length, or is it 0? 34 characters, so sounds reasonable. I updated my catalogue as I'm on a location as the previous one. Thank you, Henk. So if I refresh that page, is this a working catalogue then? So does this work for you, Henk? Because if so, let's see what the difference is. Which is what I was in the middle of doing when we got distracted, because I thought I'd test or something. Yeah, exactly, and that's why I can't see. Sign on is the text, and it's got the right length of it. That's why I can't understand why it's not working. If you look at this, it basically, HL's loaded with it, 016C. Which, of course, is... That's why. For some reason, the assembler has produced code of origin 0. I've been looking at that a few times thinking, why isn't it at origin 60,000? It isn't assembling at the right address. What's gone wrong? Right, because mcat main.list, let's make sure that actually doesn't give, no, see, that's relative as well, even after the org, isn't it? Is it? Yeah, no, it does always, lists are always relative, so it doesn't, yeah, let's not confuse getting a listed one. Let's just check the symbol. No, I don't want mcat main symbol table. I want to look at our extended catalog symbol table. Yeah, no, it is org, and it is doing it right, I think. So just checking that. So signon is EBCC, and signend is EC00, so it is right, and it's calculating the right length. Yeah, I've never used SJASM Plus, but Ped says Ped says it would never happen in SJASM Plus. You just have different issues. So I wish people would be consistent when they write assemblers. But But anyway, no, I'm reasonably happy the symbol table is producing the right values. We're just getting a relative look at it here, because this is before the absolutes have been added and as it's exported. So but we know that, let's just for a laugh, we know that signon is this value on this assembly, EBCC. So I'm going to be noting. And here, look, it's got $1 in front of it, but it doesn't work in the main code. I told you it was a bonkers assembler. I'm going to go just for a minute. Yeah, we'll look at the bin. Yeah, Jim's suggesting we look at the bin. So, hd ext cat.bin. Well, we need to know the offset. Ironically enough, now this is where the let me put it on a big desktop so you can see it. This is where the list is actually handy, because it gives you the offset. So at offset, just make sure it's loading the right address in. So offset 27 is the 21. So in the listing, so we're offset 21. We should have FDEC. What did I change it to? Can't remember. EBCC. So we should see an EBCC somewhere around here. Ped smokes what he sells. Hex edits are mostly consistent. No, not completely convinced. I actually have got a couple of scripts for converting hex files from one format to another so they can be loaded on all my old machines, because Intel hex format seems to have about 10 different interpretations of it, despite having a standard document. So, right, now I'm not helpful. Let's take a look at the... I'll move it out of the way a minute, go into the list so we can see it, and we'll find where we are from hex code comparison. So 3E04 D3, or whatever, there's the good start of it. And then we got the code 2100, yeah, that's that load HL by here. The 7E, yeah, that's all the stuff to do with that. And then down at initialize, so the 21B101. I can't find it. I'm struggling. I've lost my place in the code. 2100. There. So the next big group is 226. Of course, drive, we have to have the real addresses in it. So I need a 6F22 there. And it is EBC0 for drive. EBC0 for drive. Oh, it's not alphabetical. Why can't we have a symbol table that's alphabetical? I don't know why I use this. Yeah, EB signon. So what's drive? Drive is EBC0. So that is right. It is compiling, it is assembling the right addresses. My sanity check does not need to go much further, I think. It is installing the correct addresses in there. Yeah, so 21, that 22, sorry, we put the assembly list back on and the directory. So we're looking now. I wanted to get down as far as this signon, the 216C. That should be there, but I couldn't find it. 21ECO4. Because it's relative, you're showing you the wrong values. So let's just find this FD, which is quite a unique one. Yeah, drive's working, so I don't see why there isn't all the others aren't working. Getting a bit lost in the code though. I can't see why, because the offset should be right. 0 should be, 10 should be the A, the 10 should be the 10, which is there, B6, which it is. So 20 should be 22, which it is. So I can't see why I'm getting lost all the time. So 2A should be along here somewhere. It's got too late to finish doing this, isn't it? So there's the 22 AF01 as it would be, but it's the initial offset from it. There's the FD whatever for the load extended instruction for the 4 bytes. And there's the 21 EBCC. It is there. That's why I couldn't find it, because it's crossing a boundary. Yeah, an EBCC. So but it was actually, the code was EBCC anyway. I hadn't actually assembled it yet, Jim, if that's what you're thinking. I changed it, but I haven't assembled it. So that's the list file from before. Because if I made that EBCB and did an assembly, you don't know it. Yeah. What's wrong with that? Why is that not allowing me to do that? Have I missed something? Label not found. Yeah, there we go. So now, if I look at the hex dump, EB. It's all about when you don't trust your tools, isn't it? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And I reload it. The list will now contain the absolute value EBCB because it's not calculated, but the hex code, the hex dump will contain that and all. EBCB. So it is definitely working, and it's the right place and it's the right bit of code. So okay, so I'm going to put it back. We're 99% certain this code is working correctly, and it's calculating the correct values. So I'm just not really sure why it's doing something different to Henk's. Especially the print bit. That really worries me, that the printing isn't even happening when it's so simple. If you can't even get it to print a letter when you jump in, you are definitely having a problem, aren't you? Unless it's not white on white on something similar, simple, stupid, is it? No, it's fine. Well, I've never struck a problem this hard to solve when it's all the assembly language does is changes the border colour, moves down it, sets HL to have a value, sets IY to be that, which is the start of the system variables, sets the start of the message space, sets B to the length of it, and then jumps to a subroutine called write to string. And write to string takes the character, calls the console out program, which is pushes the thing, opens a channel, and does an RST10, which prints what's in the A. Well spotted, Henk. Absolutely brilliant. We've been talking about it all night. I'll do that. Which is a normal cat. Yeah, what he suggested is the microdrive variables don't exist, which we've discussed several times about not needing to create. Randomize user 60,000. Still get invalid file name. And I didn't get any text. So I've still got the problem. Okay. Jim suggested just what's 1600, Jim? Is that the output of a opening a stream, is it? Yeah. The combined minds of everybody trying to do something. Wow, that's good code, Jim. Does it compile? Line 46. Syntax error. See? Even DOTJAM doesn't like the way Jim writes code. Yeah, I thought it was 1601 because that's what it does earlier. That's the channel, isn't it? Yeah. It does actually do that if you look at the code, because it does that here in the output. It actually opens that. Chan open is the 1601 and it's opening channel 2. Yeah, I'm glad D doesn't like the filthy colon code either. It does. I mean, it does make it very easy when you're looking at Jim's code to see all the grouped stuff together. For those who noticed, it was all in one line. So you've got one topic. The line does that. It's very much higher level, I think. Yeah. No, it's good. But that's the way you write anyway, Jim, isn't it? You've got lots of that long line code. And it looks impressive, and it is quite easy to follow then, because you know that's the line that does this topic. So it's quite clever, but it doesn't work in DOTJAM anyway. You can't do it. So one error occurred. Integer out of range on line 10. What? Line 49, sorry. RST hash 10. Yeah, 10 hex. Yep. Just in case the variables haven't been created. Ped code belongs to intestines. Really? You agree with that, do you, Jim? Oh, okay. I thought you agreed with Ped then. No, he means 1601. There you go. Right. This moment of truth then. Invalid file name still. This is crackers. Yeah. Yeah, I suggest print the letter A. Oh, that A there, hang on a minute. That A isn't it, is it? I'm sure the cartridge is called Next Test A. Just to check. Yeah, all right. Okay, let's take Henk's code then, which does work. Brilliant, thank you, Henk. You reckon it's up here somewhere? Got a link directly to it. This is a really good site. Look at all this stuff. Wow. You'll have to give me a direct link. Yeah, I tell you what I can do actually is if I'll save the xdcat.asm and I'll stick it on the GitHub at the moment just temporarily. Sorry, Henk, I'm not sure where we're going with that one. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I see what you mean. So if I assemble this with, what's you thinking? All right, if I assemble this locally, I'll read back. Sorry, I've so your code now works. Yeah, looks the same. Do you just do something somewhere else, do you? Sorry, Henk, I think I'm missing a point there. Unless I've missed something. It's the same code. Picked up your second link. Yeah. Right, so if his works, I see what he says, let's compare it from the start, which is what we started doing, didn't we? So this is Henk's code, which definitely works. So, that num1 off. Oh, excellent. There we are. That was our missing bit that I couldn't find. So, not that it matters. I might as well put it in, didn't I? It doesn't matter, it'll just mean they'll work with gens. Gosh, it's been a long stream, this, hasn't it? Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me. I do appreciate it. So, let's get Henk's code back up, which we were in the middle of comparing. Thought we had it on a bit of code. There we go. So the Gen's entry point, pop HL point, we don't worry about all that. Obviously we've got the space pointer, IY, I can't click in that. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's the one you do, which works with SJASM Plus. I don't know whether I got SJASM Plus on my machine even, to be honest. Does it come? I don't think I've ever used it. It's not SASM, is it? So, nope, I haven't got SJASM. Never used it. Someone will have to show me how to use that if you want me to assemble that. Let's go back to what I was doing, which was just quickly looking at what the difference was in the code, why, if there was any errors or anything, but yeah, thank you, Jim. Blindingly obvious stuff to do. Thank you. I was just trying to put the spacing in to be the same so that I didn't. If I enlarge that a little bit, it should make it closer to examine as well. Yeah, sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, can you? I mean, it looks the same, I just don't know. Yeah, obviously new var, I've got new vars because I corrected it slightly differently to him. The code does look the same. It's just that not printing is bugging me. It's really bugging me. No, it does look the same. Yeah, I could download it as a file and do a diff, I suppose, but yeah, go on. Yeah, it should only just show the two. If I can I save as? I'll just save a file as a save page as. Can I do that? Yeah, there you go. And then I go to there. ext cat.asm with catalog.asm. It's going to be a lot of differences, so So it's going to be crap at the front. Obviously it's picking out the stuff that you added, Jim. Yeah, because of the different tabs and everything is different. Yeah, bugger. Because they got different tabulations as well. Yeah, it's too different. You'd have to run a script to clean them up. So I could do... no, I can't. GVim minus D. What's that do, mate? If I knew what it did... What's the minus D do on GVim? I've used Vibe, but not Vim. So... Yeah, I still have this problem of why the print string's not working. You know, open a channel, print. It's the very basic thing you do on a Spectrum. What are we missing? Why is this printing a string not working? Okay. So does that edit it ignoring the white space, does it? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, that's looking better. Yeah, okay, we got a chance with that one. Well done, Ped. Diff minus W. So, okay, I'll have a little play with GVim and install it at some point. Thank you, GVim minus D, file 1, file 2. I think it was commented by Ped, there's a million ways to skin the same cats. So, although quite why cats enjoy being skinned, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a hex with the hash. And we've got the CH4 out. New var, that's just a subtle change of the name. Load B15. Cattle 1. Okay, because the colon, cat loop. Push BC, that's because of the colon. Here, obviously there's colons in this one, there's not in that one from SJ Asm. Call WR string, we just call WR3. Load A, comma D. Load A, comma D. And that's just where it is. JR cat back, push IX. JR cat back. Yeah, it's just, again, it's just that subtle, the name of it. Type to. There's an extra JR cat back there that isn't perhaps accounted for. But that's later on when it's doing something. That's worth checking out, that one. That little bit there I'm not comfortable with. So let's have a little look at the 2 bits of code there. I really don't think this is the reason, because it's just not printing. But here somewhere in cat bat not pro. That was the bit I was struggling to do. Oh, that's why, because there's some spaces in it. Cat back. So it's load D, comma D out, JR cat back. I've got an extra space in there. He hasn't. That's why, because that's a new line, so it doesn't count as white space. Because my style of programming, I always tend to put space before any labels, just to delineate code. That's just the way I do it normally. So I probably I put that in as I was typing. DFB, close M, pop HL, pop DC, DGNZ, cat loop 1, pop BC. No, that code is B5. Wrong one. That code is identical, isn't it? I think. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I do know Vi, Henk. I'm reasonably good with Vi. I did a lot of Vi editing, so I sort of got out of the habit of using Vi for day-to-day editing just because of the convenience of scrolling around with a mouse and a cut and paste. But I'm not uncomfortable with Vi as an editor. In fact, the bottom of my CV years ago used to say I can make Vi not go ping every 2 seconds. So... And Ped says, sometimes I commit my version and then overwrite the file with another version, check in the git cola GUI, the difference of how the file is modified. That's a clever way of doing it. Yeah, and so he knows how git cola does it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the code. We just have a basic problem that we're not even printing a character with a stream. The only thing I've done is I did disable this channel 2 open just in case that was causing some kind of problem. That's really annoying, isn't it? We know the code running, so I'm just going to take out some of the things we don't need anymore. Because we know that does that. I suggest, why don't we get a letter A when we do that? That should just print a letter on the screen, right? Everybody agree? We load in A with a character 2, opening a channel, loading A with a character A, printing it and returning. You can't write much more simple bit of Z80 code for a Spectrum than that. And has the code transferred okay? 943 bytes from EA60. Ooh, that's a point. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's a good call. I'm completely blind and missed that. And that's interesting because that channel open command, that's not done symbolically like it is here. Is it ever called though? Yeah, it is called, but I had commented it out just in case there was an issue with it. So, but yeah, that's probably the very first one. Well, boys and girls, the moral of this story is do not use Z80ASM for doing assembly because it's completely incompatible with every other assembler on the planet. And Tim was a complete idiot when he first started doing cross development on the Spectrum. He picked Z80ASM to learn and understand and do some detail. And I'm gonna mount a defense now a minute before we try this code. Line 241. What have I done in 241? Yeah, I corrected that. Thank you. Oh, you can uncomment it now. Yeah, you're right. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I can uncomment those again because that'll work. And 1601 hex will work. And in fact, are we going to try Jim's code first to see whether Jim's code works when I type it in correctly? Yes, I think so, D. I think you're quite right. And once you pick one, you just stay with it because your volume of code you got just goes through the roof. And if you look at some of I've literally got hundreds and hundreds of disk images full of code. And there's lots of it that's in gens format. And then there's shedfuls of it in 2500 AD assembler. I don't know whether anyone knows that product even existed. But so after there's piles in gens was compatible into CPM. yeah. Write your own code. There we go. That's a good one, Henk. Write your own code. Yeah. So, like D points out, SJASM Plus has plenty of stuff that doesn't work with others. So this was my 2500 AD assemblers, which I bought from the US when we first started doing IBM PC development on the I think it was an Epson we had. I don't know whether can't remember whether I ever did it on the Sanyo, but it should run on the Sanyo because it runs in DOS. And that one's got some bonkers layout as well. I think actually this is the 6502 cross assembler, this one. So and they were hideously expensive, like hundreds of pounds back in the day. I've got the Z81. Yeah, should we find out then? Should we find out whether Jim's little bit of code works and my code works? Right. I'm paranoid. I can't even remember what I transmitted it again. Right. We'll put you back to where you can see the desktop as well on the machine, and we will do another. We'll reload the code. Can't remember what I called it. EXTCAT. It's been so long since we tried it. Bin quotes. Code 60,000 .mcat 3. I'll do a cat just to create the variables. Yeah, D's in the chat because obviously you can't see it. I'm going to play back. He's saying he only learned Z80 assembler since the next came out, and he's found legacy teaching material to be as confusing as they are informative. Yeah, because it's all just mixed up, complete mess. Right, so let's just test randomize user 60,000, and we should get a letter. Yes! Yeah, look! Jim, your code works! Right, I think we have to wait till tomorrow to see if the other code works, don't we? I'm sure it will. We'll have confidence now, won't we? So we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to get rid of the coloration stuff here because... Ooh! Yes, all right, Henk. So it's already... it's already in our European cousin's home... Saturday's stream. So actually, yeah, that's a good one. I could just cut it in half when it's recorded and make it 2 streams and say, look, I did it Saturday as well. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go over to our advertisers now for about 15 hours, and then we'll see if the program works. Roll F7. No, trust me, there will be a stream on Saturday as well, and it could be a long one because I'm going to try and I'm going to try and get this debugger running to debug the code to find out why the stack is imbalanced, and that really does need proper tools, not just messing around staring at code. But now we've got all the elements of code we need to put the dot command together, so I'm reasonably... Yeah. Do you want me to stop talking and run the code? Right, so we're back to there. We're loading a new copy of it. Bin quote code 60,000. We'll do an mcat 3. Now our variables already exist in the basic area, so we don't need to create them again. So I should just be able to do a randomize user 60,000. Yay! Microdrive not present. If we do a randomize user 60,000 again with a cartridge in the drive, ooh, new core, test.bas, and it's a program, and it's got the stuff about it. Look at that. I want to do that for other cartridges now. Should we play with our extended catalog a minute and look at another cartridge? Let's see what else we got on it, shall we? Yeah. Now it's getting the actual thing working. So what do we got? That's got something interesting on it. I don't know. That's got a new. Just so that everyone's aware that you've got a new bit of felt on it, because don't use a cartridge without having a new bit of felt. So let's do a randomize user 60,000 on another cartridge. Microdrive not present. Oh dear. That cart is not working. Probably a jammed cartridge. What's on that one? Hey! I don't know what's on this cartridge though. Hopefully it's something more than one file. Next adventure. There's nothing on it. Great. That's because it's a blank cartridge I've done something with. This is not going well, is it? Demo videos cartridge. There we go. That's got quite a lot of files on it, that. Let's should test it. I think. Randomize user 60,000. Don't sound very healthy, that, if you can hear it. Oh, there we go. It is working. It's slow. That cartridge is very old. I mean, this is literally one from... Oh, I love it. This little heart struggling. It's trying, though. It's trying. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's terrible. I think I'm going to give it a break, love it. Oh, no, it is. Look, it. And it's got the address as well, 6912163884. So we can guess that that's Africa must be a picture. For those who don't know. Yeah, they're all very old, a bit like me, mate. So it was reformatted in 2017, though, if you see, because the title of the thing is 2017. Here we are, Barsac. So yeah, these are all screens basically. So because they load your address 16384 and they're all 6912 bytes long. So it seems to be working, doesn't it? A very old cartridge, but you're also younger than me. We're very old. Okay, fair enough then, Ped. Yeah, I think so. But I have to be honest, I find these cartridges fascinating technology. They're brilliant. You know, and here's an interesting one. I got my Sanyo MBC here, which has got my floppy drives from back in the day. And, you know, if you look at that, it says 160k on it. That's all it is. It's a 160k disc. And two of those, in theory 200k, but more likely 85, 90, so 180k. So two of those is the same as one of those discs. You know, and they were only £3 something in the day, and these were like about a £5 each. So it was quite a cost-effective way of storing data. So yeah, I think so. And I think at 11:30 we're probably going to end on that note of the machine going out doing those things. I know all we got to do is, well, all we got to do is take that extended catalog, stitch it into the code for the ROM jump and find the bug for the ROM jump. But I think what we do, we keep the existing simple cat because this takes so long to run, and debug tomorrow the why we're getting a stack imbalance as we jump into the code and move back and forth and try and get that working smoothly tomorrow. And then we can stitch in this extended catalog stuff on top of it, and we should be able to have a single MCAT that does an extended stuff. Yeah, that's possible. It's probably not a very good technique for doing the cat, is it? What we could do though is if I think it's because it's struggling. To be honest, I think the cartridge itself is struggling because it's a very old. You know, it's one I've been struggling to get data off of anyway. But if I do, if we poke that address with 603, we should be back to that now. 60345, comma 2, and then do a randomize user 60,000. Poke 60345, comma 1. Randomize user 60,000. Maybe it isn't that address anymore then. We better check the address, haven't we? Drive is EBB6 now. EBB6, where's EB? 60342 according to this. Why is it moved down a byte then? It's moved down 3 bytes. We must have changed something in the code. Where's our code gone? What did I change in the code to move it down 3 bytes? But it has changed by 3 bytes. Yeah, I will load it again because we've obviously, I poked into the table up here, the tent tab, which I mean it can't get the numbers right. It would still work, I think, if I poke that address. We'll just get some corrupted numbers on the extended catalogue. I was just thinking about 60342, comma 1. that's fine. It's working fine. Yeah, we did a little bit. So all we'll have is some corrupted, when it prints the size of files, we'll have some corrupted numbers. Yeah, there we go. See? Less than, right, because it's not doing the code that's been affected. We've poked into this bit, which is the table that's used to convert numbers to create decimal numbers. So we've just damaged that table. So, but it's quite quick with another cartridge. So I will load it again just to prove it works fine. I should be able to do my quick. Should be able to go back just using F5, isn't it? Nope, didn't work. Oop. Bust it. Those control keys for F5 and F6 for enabling and disabling the bus don't seem to be so this is from scratch now, just to prove it all works. So did the mcat-i to initialize the variables. I'm now back in, so I can do a clear 5.999 load star ext cat dot bin quotes code 60,000 poke 60342 comma 2, because drive 2 I want to catalog this time, and then I'll go back to mcat drive 2. Doesn't matter what the number is, but we will eventually get that to set the drive number, and then I can do a randomize user 60,000, and it's cataloging the other V drive as I would expect. I really don't know what's in the second drive image. Games. Oh, that's interesting. Now this is an ideal. The reason I wanted to do this is you can see if it's a perfectly working cartridge, the V drive it always gives 100% results. So this is actually the speed of 100% cartridge. And for those who don't know the V drive, it is actually using exactly the same protocol and physical timing. So it's just as if you had a perfect cartridge that didn't give any errors and slow running, that's the speed that microdrive went. And that's about the speed I remember them working back in the day as well when they were new. So looks good. Looks very good. Excellent. Handy little program that. So right. I think that's enough. I don't know about everyone else. It's 20 to 12. Good grief. No one's going to watch this on playback, are they? Right then, guys. I really, really appreciate you all sticking with me for the duration of the coding. And it just shows how long something that should be fairly simple to do takes, even with a lot of people working at it. And Henk and Ped, I can't thank you enough for the effort to help get that code converted over, and for everyone for spotting it. Yeah, it speed's good, I think. It's not a bad little machine. So Octadrive, an alternative to the V drive, uses a USB connection to provide the drive image. Sounds interesting, D? Yeah, Jim, don't say it's nearly done in time. You know yourself, finding a stack imbalance could take weeks. mrun dot command. Yeah, that's a cool one. So it actually runs the image on the microdrive. Yeah, that's good. Just jumps straight into the microdrive and runs it. Oh, well, thanks everybody. It really is. it makes you feel like you're doing it for a reason, because you know yourself, you're writing a lot of code, you're thinking no one's ever going to run this. So you enjoy it for yourself, but it's a bit like having someone to talk to. So, it is like having someone. It is having someone to talk to. It's been great. So, right, here ends the mammoth stream. That's I haven't got my glass of wine to go and have anymore. Sunday midnight on Sunday is the deadline, Jim. So, like I said, my plan is to get, if I can debug the pivoting code, so we can jump in and out with a command, and I can get this in to so the catalog does it, I'll fork the code and then try and do something else on Sunday to make it a bit better. But I want to be in a position tomorrow, because like I drop bottles of wine and things happen. So yeah, yeah. So there we go. It's brilliant, isn't it? Right then, guys, I'm going to say goodnight, and we're going to end the... we're ending on a high note, finally, even if it's taken us to get there. So I was just saying it's 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Yeah, okay, 3 solid hours of code. yeah, you'll do it. You and Ped, you probably start Sunday at 11:45, and you'll have finished by midnight, a pair of you. I know how good you are at coding. But I did set off on this stream as a journey for everybody to try and follow along and learn some techniques and everything. Hopefully it'll stand in future. I'll probably do an edited version of today. What time tomorrow? I don't know, really. What time suits people? I might run, if I'm going to do... I probably be around in the afternoon. I'll probably do some coding then, but I sort of want to do it always on a stream, but what I might do is if I do any code, I might record it, so it can at least be played back. But so it's a bit uncertain, but chances are I can do a little bit of programming from about 3-4 o'clock onwards, hopefully in the afternoon. But I will do an evening stream as well, Saturday night probably. I tend to watch the Coco show on a Saturday for an hour or two, so I might do a stream a bit later again, about 8:30, 9 when they finish, just to catch up. But there might be an afternoon stream as well if I get an hour or two programming. But I got a few tasks to do around the house, but I wouldn't mind having an hour or two in the afternoon. Yeah, I think so. But like I said, I'll do an edited version of it, taking out all the boring stuff, so that people who want to catch up on the series or we watch it, I'm going to watch 2 hours of just typing in code and things, but that's good. Yeah, so lots of gotchas, Jim. So, right, I'm going. Good night, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you all tomorrow at some point. Like I say, I'll probably do a stream in the afternoon about 3-ish for an hour or two. I'll try and do some, and then I'll go and have some tea and do some other things, and then I'll do another one later on. So probably the stream in the afternoon will be getting the picturesque assembler, because I can't remember how to patch it for use in the next. So, yeah, I'll post to Twitter in the group and on any chats that we're members of, just so everyone knows what's happening. And what I'd probably do is I'll probably schedule it now tonight for a 3 o'clock one, just so if anyone's looking just on YouTube sees there might be one coming up at 3 o'clock. All right then, good night. See you all. Ta-da. Sarah Jim. Thanks, everyone.